Saab and Ford have battled it out to be the first to launch a car that runs on biofuel. Saab won by a very short head with its 9.5. Is this a sign of the future, or just another red herring to be forgotten in a few years when the next big thing comes along? So what is a biopower car? Simple. It's a regular petrol or diesel car that has been adapted to run on bioethanol. The bioethanol can be made from wheat, sugar beet or woody waste. Ultimately, even municipal waste can be used. Now won't that be good? Today, bioethanol comes largely from South America, where cars have been running on ethanol for years. And like the South Americans, in the future we'll grow crops here in the UK to reduce our dependence on oil. Saab's Biopower isn't actually that different to a regular 9.5. It's simply the 2-litre turbo with a few modifications. Some components have been upgraded because the fuel attacks plastics, so the fuel tank and fuel lines are changed, but that's about it. The fuel itself is known as E85, is sold through blue handle petrol pumps, and it's a couple of pence cheaper than unleaded. Availability though is extremely limited at the moment. You can buy it in one of 5 Morrisons supermarkets in East Anglia and another 5 in the West Country. Though on the positive side, if you can't find E85, the Biopower Saab can run on 100% unleaded, or any mixture in between. So is the Saab Biopower any good, or indeed any different to the standard car? Well, there's no getting away from the fact that the 9.5 is now perilously close to its sell-by date. But the latest facelift that gave it those distinctive new headlights has added a bit more to its life. The 9.5 is a very comfortable, safe car to cruise around in, and in biopower form there's an unexpected bonus. The bioethanol petrol mix is rated at 104 octane, rather than the 95 of unleaded petrol. And as we all know, the higher the octane rating, the greater the performance potential. But there are downsides too. The £600 extra Saab charges for the changes are eminently reasonable, but it's the fuel economy that's the major issue. It can be as much as 30% worse. The government even cuts the fuel duty by 20%, but the end result is just a 2p saving at the pumps because biofuel is so much more costly to produce. If you need proof that the idea is a sound one, just look at Saab's homeland. Swedish Saab drivers have adopted biopower hand over fist. 80% of 9.5 sales are of the biopower. There are exceptional circumstances, not least the admirable level of environmental awareness among the Swedes. Sales are backed by an enthusiastic Swedish government, which gives a tax reduction on company cars, free parking and congestion charge-free driving in Stockholm. For an increasing number of drivers in the UK, the green credentials of a biocar will also sway the argument. The CO2 coming out of the exhaust pipe may be a little different, but there's a real environmental benefit because the 9.5 biopower is getting closer to being carbon neutral, and that's a goal we should all be aiming for. So rounding out the good points, it's closer to being carbon neutral, it uses non-fossil fuels, and there's that improved performance. On the downside, the fuel availability is very limited, economy takes quite a hit, and it needs a more committed UK government.